Boom! Welcome back to another episode of Evolving Through Experience, where we discussing growth in every aspect, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and beyond. Today, guys, we have another special guest. This is definitely going to be a godly episode, as you already know. That's what evolving is about. It's a continuous process. If you're not evolving, you are dissolving. Today, we have Allahomitu. How you feeling, bro?
Feeling godly.
Hey, as you should.
Like the president.
I love that. As you should. That's what I'm talking about, bro. So first and foremost, I just want to say I appreciate you coming on because I don't take it lightly, and I'm always looking forward to having these dope conversations with other entities because it's a plethora of things we're going to talk about today, but I would definitely want to go into it just obviously starting with your name, man. Let's break that down for the people that may not know why you name yourself that.
The naming essentially comes from Allah God.
Mm-hmm.
Allah being the all-encompassing.
Mm-hmm.
But Mitu was something that I created when I was at the age of 13.
Okay.
It was a vision I actually received that it was only one mind in the universe. And ever since then, I just wrote down the acronyms of what that was. And that actually ended up becoming in my crystal business.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, I realized, like, I just need to merge God with the name that I created and make that who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where that comes from.
Okay. Nah, respectfully. So with that experience that you had at 13, would you say at that point, obviously this childhood, so we're talking about childhood now because I think this is the most important. Obviously, as you being a father, you obviously understand how important childhood is as well.
Right.
So being at this moment while you were a child, walk me through that spiritual enlightenment of how this came about, as far as like the details that you can share with that experience.
Yeah, you ever had an epiphany?
Yeah, for sure.
You know how epiphanies feel.
Yeah, correct.
So in that moment, it was like a full clarity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we in a field right now where in life you go through, most of us get the privilege of going through experiencing the hood life. So anytime you come into a new level of information, you start to realize just how much bigger your world is.
Mm-hmm.
Even at that age of 13, I realized just how big the world is, and it wasn't as small as the hood I was around.
Facts.
You know, so I had this epiphany, like, damn, it's really only one mind in the universe. Like, everything is synchronized. Everything works.
Facts.
You understand? Like, if I just put my mind to something, I could have it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it was at that age.
Okay.
You know, so I think tying that into children and the child mind just got this playful nature about them that they don't take life too serious.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it takes for us to remain in that childlike state of playful, not playing games, but in a playful brain, so where we are able to receive. Because I think at that time I received that download. I received an understanding that was like, you know how Taoists would say, being your Zen, or how you know, a Buddhist or someone who practices any form of like realm of the interconnected mind. That is what I received, because you know, to me, keeping that brain strong, that childlike brain strong, is extremely important.
Facts. Agree. And I'm glad you said that. Before I even go to the next question regarding that, what are some other experiences like that you had in your childhood that pretty much helped build that foundation for you outside of that one?
Well, trancing. I say it's trancing because I was always a child that drew a lot.
Okay.
So I just be in this trance state, like drawing things for hours upon hours. And that gave me this deep level of focus that I think I had over all my peers. Like, just because I would sit there and I would draw. And that's actually something that a lot of people nowadays are trying to feel, or feel that void by being on telephones, or being on the phone. Because the phone produces like this focus that a lot of people seem to want to have, but don't get because they're not in their creative nature. So I think that just most of my childhood life, I've always been in my creative mode. I've been in that creative space, so where I could just always receive epiphanies.
And what is a solution you feel like people could take on today Because as we talking about evolving, obviously you've been able to evolve at a young age. So let's say somebody today, like you said, addicted to the phones, obviously from the energy they get from it. What is a solution that they could do now to pretty much get back into what they also meant to be doing?
That's a good question. Let me ask. Okay, I like to ask questions sometimes.
Hey, go ahead, let's do it.
You know, like, do you find yourself on the phone often?
Um, I would say often in the sense of handling business, yes.
You see, you handling business. So,
Mm-hmm.
how did you get to that mind? Like, how did you get to handling business mind?
I always knew I've always been focused, so I knew what I wanted. And I'm not gonna say we don't have distractions, but me as an individual, I just knew my higher purpose. Even why I'm building this, I found that out early. So evolving is because I've been able to evolve in continuous process. So I knew like if it's not benefiting me in any capacity, if it's not allowing me to reach my higher self, I don't really need to give it that much energy, if any.
Where you get that from though? Like, how did you come to that level of communication in your mind?
Honestly, through different experiences, I have my uncles, obviously, not I was about to say not I don't know what the perfect word for it, but my uncles, and I've just been always conscious for sure. So as far as learning different things and studying different just different information, always in the search for information, I've been able to understand like my true purpose and understanding like no matter what it is, I can always find a solution for it. So that's pretty much how I came about that. And obviously reading, studying as much as I can, I've always been attracted to learning something new, especially if it's beneficial, positive information.
So you mentioned your uncle. So
Mhm.
would you say that was like the environment because your uncles helped to produce an environment that was conducive for your brain?
I think my uncle, I would say he's been able to allow me to express myself and question things where other people in the family don't question things.
Right.
And I've always been a person to question things. No matter what it is, I'm gonna question it, even if it's a quote unquote against the society beliefs. I'm questioning it.
That's
So
Islam.
yeah, for sure. So with that being said, he's been somebody that's been obviously he's my uncle, so he's much older, so he's been able to instill that knowledge into me and actually give me the resources or show me where to start to find the actual information that I need to do for my self journey.
So I see that when it comes to young,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to the young, I think the young just need great superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
The young need superheroes, heroes they can look up to.
Facts.
Because we may not look at it as an uncle being a superhero, but in reality, that's what an uncle is.
Mm-hmm.
Family members can truly be your superhero, not even knowing that, if you put a word into your niece or your nephew's ear, that shit is gonna grow.
Facts.
It's a seed that's gonna grow.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And a lot of times in our families, we kind of be lacking that. In our culture, in
Yeah.
our people, we need those elders.
Facts.
Those ones who are just gonna see a bright child and be like, you know what? Let me plant some seeds in that
Facts.
child. You know what I'm saying? That's just gonna help them elevate and continuously keep questioning.
Facts. Everything.
Absolutely, because
Who-
that's really questioning.
Mhm.
That's how you get off the phone.
Mm-hmm.
You got to start questioning your reality. Like, wait, hold on. Why am I on this phone?
Mm-hmm.
Why am I using this shit like this and then I ain't producing nothing?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you ultimately ain't producing nothing by being on it, it's useless.
Yeah. Consuming only. Yeah.
And that shit is extremely dangerous.
It is. And of course we know it's intentional. So who are some of your superheroes?
My superheroes, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad,
Mm-hmm.
Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, myself first and foremost, just Allah God.
Mm-hmm.
My superheroes always I've looked up to music artists,
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jackson. I think it was the freedom in his expression
Mm-hmm.
that like he was able to show like the cleverness of being an original man and take over the world just by doing him.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me?
Yeah.
Like I think seeing that at a young age was raw.
Mm-hmm.
Going into Marvin Gaye, his music growing up, listening to his music, really like, what's going on? What's going on? That type of shit, all that was instilled in me at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then my mother. Mother is always important in a young man's life because she can either really pour into you, or she can really take a lot out of you. And my mother always just told me that I was original, man.
Yeah.
Maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. And she told me never be a follower, always be a leader. Even with your pack, your homies, and never follow them niggas around. You understand me? She always instilled that no matter what. You know, she saw any follower trait, she gonna speak on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What about Pops?
Yeah, Pops 1,000%.
For sure.
My Pops always had the killer mode. He always had the killer instinct, the killer energy, the whole entire nine. So with Pops, it was always just respect. So Pops taught me how to be respectful, just in commandment of your energy, just in the mode, like in the frequency of it. You understand, like how to stand in your character at all times. Cause that's how my Pops was, and every time Pops was around, it was just like, you know, he had this demeanor about him, you know, that I could look up to and see that's a man that always remains in his demeanor.
Facts.
And I think that's another thing that, you know, in our society that we can definitely grow a lot more on is men keeping a demeanor in check.
Nah, facts. And I'm glad you said that, because I want to go back to, obviously, as you obviously have evolved, let's talk about a moment when you was in that space where you knew you was out of your character, out of your zen, and how did you get back to that? Because I think in today's society, it's a lot of men and women, truth be told, that could get out of that or may not know how to get back to that. And let's say, for example, that causes them to crash out, when that we know that's just a detrimental route that so many have taken, and we've seen how it played out and continue to play out. So let's talk about a moment when you was there, and then obviously how you've been able to evolve.
I say everything goes back to character. So, you know, whatever you call yourself, that's what you need to stand on. You know, and especially I always saw myself as an original man, and that stood on those principles and knowing like who the enemy is, what the truth is, and things of that nature. So one situation in my life that really did open my eyes was when I was with this lady at the time, you know, the lady that I was communication with the whole entire nine. And I was getting a home, like I was about to get a space. And I asked her to come there with me to speak with the people that owned the home at the time. And I remember I didn't introduce her. I didn't introduce her to the people that I went to go meet. You understand? And that really rubbed her the wrong way, because she was like, you an original man. She said something to me that really stuck with me. She said, don't ever introduce, like, she said, your woman always comes first, no matter what. She said, always introduce your woman first. Make sure that she, no matter what, introduce your woman first, even if it's not your woman. Whoever's with you, introduce that black woman first. When I actually came across that real life situation, that shit changed my whole entire perspective, because I thought I was being like sincere in my movement, you know, that whole entire time. But it was that one little, like, I was like, damn.
Lesson.
Yeah, lesson that caught me off guard, where it was just like I should have done that. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's not even the heaviest lessons in life. Everybody done been through heavy shit. But I ain't here to trauma bond though. You know what I mean? I'm here to lesson bond, to
like that.
Like,
lesson
I'm here
bond.
to lesson
Facts.
bond, to where it's like we learn these lessons.
Yeah.
And we sharpen each other now. And so, but that right there, I realized, like, moving forward, my character ain't never gonna get tested like that no more.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying? And because it's different when a sister call you out, you know, when you know she's standing on her dean, and it's just like, if she call you out, that's like a test of like your character, and it's just like, damn, you don't want your character tested.
No, facts. And outside of that experience, what's another experience? Like you said, I love the fact that you said lesson bond versus trauma bond. So what's another lesson that you've been able to obviously evolve from?
Lessons in terms of, I would say, you know, as men, we got to choose up. You're going to learn a lot of lessons in life just by,
as you should,
just by trying to, like, be promiscuous. And it's something I talked about on on my page all the time, like, men gotta stop giving that dick out.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? As long as you doing that, you really leaving yourself spiritually with a lot of holes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, holes as in you gonna have holes, yeah, the whole entire nine, but at the same time, you gonna have spiritual holes in you. You gonna have like, because I learned as a man, I gotta keep my chi, my zen always in center.
Mm-hmm.
Because what they don't teach you in modern religion and things of that nature is that we actually dealing with two forces within us at all times, you know, and these are inner temples in the body and it's inner spaces in the consciousness that as long as you fucking around, doing things you're not supposed to be doing, going against that higher mind, you basically feeding what is called the beast. You feeding that side inside you. And you may have like this strong purpose, this purpose to be this great person, this purpose to be this great being, but you literally run in circles because you keep going into the beast mind instead of the ego mind, instead of the higher mind, instead of the mind that says, you know what, it's time for me to choose up. It's time for me to be on one accord. You understand? Because I know that in the ancient sciences, consciousness is called Ra.
Mm-hmm.
They call consciousness, our everyday consciousness, they call it Ra, which is in English terms raw or raw energy.
Mm-hmm.
And usually a lot of men, we just got raw energy. But it states that in order to turn that raw energy into actual manifesting your dreams, purpose, you have to mix that with patah. Patah being organization. You see, so once a man, this is what you doing here, is like you done organize. You done put your mind in your mouth where where your heart is, and you done put together this podcast. Now you done set up organization for you to have, to build your mind and build the minds of the people.
Fact.
But you had a raw idea at first, you see?
Mm-hmm.
But how many obstacles have you gone through to get here? That you had to say, I got to get rid of this in order to secure this. And so in my life, I had to get rid of, I know for a fact, that is one of the cardinal things that a lot of men deal with is promiscuity. You understand me? So for me, that was one of the biggest lessons in my life, and just choosing up, making sure you got your wife.
What was just give me 2 steps, or if you got more, that everybody could take that's in that space still, because like you said, I could relate to that too. So what is some steps, whether that's 2, whether that's 3, whether that's 4, that you feel like every man could take right now to get out of that?
Unfollow the hoes.
Unfollow them. That's the first step. Get off IG, unfollow them.
Unfollow them. You
Yeah.
understand me? Like, unfollow them. It ain't worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Unfollow all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Gotta be intentional.
You gotta be intentional. That's first. And then you gotta write down what it is you getting rid of too. And then you gotta burn it. We don't, as men, don't recognize magic anymore. We don't tap into the magic. We don't tap into the forces, right? The forces of nature. We got to start using nature. Fire is just nature. Mm-hmm. So writing something down that you trying to get rid of within your consciousness, it's a subconscious thing you doing. It's like you burning this out of your subconscious. Mm-hmm. So you write it down, wait till the moon, full moon, and then it's like a petition. You burning it, and now it's like you telling your subconscious mind, get rid of that.
Yeah, release it.
Mm-hmm. You understand? Release it into the ethers. Mm-hmm. Alhamdulillah.
How did you meet your soulmate?
Releasing a lot of shit into the ethers.
Yeah.
Like, I had to give up a lot of, what's it called, ego. Mm-hmm. Not ego in terms of, there's nothing wrong with the ego. And we could talk about that, but I had to get rid of what I thought was, was my soulmate in general. Because a lot of times we think that we see something we like
From the physical
from a
standpoint.
physical standpoint, and we think that is like, oh, what I'm attracted to.
Mm-hmm.
But in essence, that ain't what you're attracted to, because it's a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of physical. So I had to realize that what I need to search for is in the soul, is in the spirit of what I'm looking for. It's like, yeah, she gonna be attractive,
Mm-hmm.
but how do we communicate? You know,
Mm-hmm.
Can I communicate to you on every level? Can I fully go into who I am?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't, this don't scare you. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Not in terms of me being like, crazy or no,
Yeah.
but in terms of who I am as a man.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, can I communicate that with you? And in turn, she would respond exactly how it's almost like I done wrote her into existence.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But of course, again, it's like I did write her into existence because I got intentional
With yourself.
with myself.
Mm-hmm.
I got intentional with what I wanted in life. I got intentional with how I wanted for this love to come into my life.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And I think as men, we just don't be intentional about nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we got to start doing is just being consistent on our intentions.
Mm-hmm. Holding each other accountable.
Absolutely.
So what's some of the lessons that she has instilled in you obviously from day 1 versus day 300?
Patience.
Mm-hmm.
That it is actually someone in this universe that is your reciprocal.
Mm.
There is someone that's made for you. That no matter how long you gonna go in this lifetime searching for that,
Mm-hmm.
it exists on an everyday basis too.
Mm-hmm.
And that is somebody that you can communicate with and open up in love to. Because I think that's what truly a lot of original men wish to do,
Mm-hmm.
is really find that one that they can really open in love to. Because that's what we missing in this world right now. For us, men are really tired. Like I be looking at my brothers and I can see on their face they tired. I can see it on their face they like drained. Like brothers is drained and they actually need their wives.
Mm-hmm.
And not even understanding like your wife she gonna help your glow.
Mm-hmm.
She gonna help all of that energy. Everything that you thinking that just going unchecked in your brain, that shit gonna get checked straight up. And that's what she's been doing for me since day one. Just she keep my brain like calm,
On point. What about vice versa? Anything? I'm sure she's obviously with your communication. She's told you some of the biggest things you've helped her with.
Oh yeah, I'm the love of her life.
As you should be.
She tell me I'm the first man she ever could submit to.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And for her, it's the most powerful thing because it's like she done went her whole entire career.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me? Just not being able to submit.
Mm-hmm.
And so in her space is like she's able to fully awaken her creative gifts. She's able to open up more. She's getting more and more creative. She's getting more and more in touch with her feminine nature. So it's opening up those channels for her.
Mm-hmm.
She's getting more and more to like her wealth. She told me the other day, she's like, she hitting her quotas.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me? It's just like, that's what it is when a man comes into a woman's life. It's like, he's going first. It's like, I remember just, letting y'all in a little bit, it was one time where she thought in her consciousness she had to like pour in energy to me.
Mm.
But I stopped her. And I said, nah, this ain't what this is. This ain't what this is. I ain't come here for you to pour in energy to me.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I come here to pour into you. You understand? And in that moment, she like stopped and just started crying because she realized, she was like, damn, I just been doing this on autopilot. And I'm like, nah. I'm like, yeah, you this ain't what this is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm good on my own.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? I've always been good on my own. And it's just like, that's why I'm here in your life, is because I'm here to expand.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where brothers got to get back to now. It's like, stop. These women is not your mother. These sisters is not your mother. And I think a lot of brothers are trying to go back to the womb. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Elaborate though.
A lot of
Go
brothers,
back to the womb.
they trying to go back to the womb, because when I look at my son, right, when he gets a little sick, he clings on to his mother. He clings on to her. He want to sleep with her all day. He want to hold on to her. There's a lot of things that men doing today. Today woman. You see what I'm saying? It's just he's trying to hold on to her. Oh, baby, I need you. I need this. Dragging her though. Being a dragon. You understand?
Yeah.
Dragging her down to his level when he should be already in his Shiva. He should be in his divine masculine. And he should be really helping her be in her Shakti, to where she can be in her goddess mode, he in his God mode, and it's almost like this real playful nature between the two. And while while she out in the world and he out in the world, they got this divine spiritual connection that they minds just covered. They go home to each other. They sacred with one another. They can be like playful in terms of, even me and my lady, man, women try to DM me and shit. I tell her like, look, this girl, here go another one.
Another one.
Here go another one. You know what I'm saying? Like, we play around like that. You know what I mean? Like,
it's healthy. I think
healthy.
people should be able to do that.
Very healthy.
Yeah.
See, when you ain't trying to be sneaky and shit, no sneaky. Nah, I don't want no sneaky links.
Yeah.
That ain't my culture.
Yeah.
That ain't where I come from. You understand me? I come from this original culture. I come from the Yoruba. I come from the Haitian. I come from the Voodoo. I come from the Egyptian, the Kemetic culture of unification between you and your woman. You understand me? We had Ubuntu, which is the unifying of all our understandings, of all our cultures, and spirits and deities. And it's like all depictions in the ancient times of deities, it was always the masculine and the feminine. You understand? It was always the man and the woman uniting to build a family and a home and a structure. And that's how we build kingdoms. It ain't through like trying to save everybody, trying to have all these hoes and all this whole different types of stuff. It was always you and your woman. You understand me? And that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah. Now that's evolving
1,000%.
at the highest level.
At the highest level.
Yeah. What? Let's talk about obviously your son, man. Congratulations again. Congratulations again. Let's talk about that, because what has been some of the biggest challenges for you as a father, and even as a parent, you obviously with your queen too, that y'all have faced with having a son, and obviously bringing him into this realm, this life on earth right here?
It really wasn't that many challenges.
Okay.
I don't know why when people like, I think the reason why people have a lot of challenges with children, and I'm not acting like I'm this super perfect human being and things of that nature, because I'm not. We deal with our things, you understand me? When it comes to my child, I knew who he was before he was even in the womb. Like, I designed him in my consciousness. Like, I knew who he was in my head before he ever came out. So I just know in general where he's headed, because it's like they say, when you train a child up at the young age, that's where he gonna go when he's, this is how you train him in the consciousness. Because remember, everything starts in the brain.
Fact.
So it wasn't that difficult. Now, the thing that was most challenging was the season of him being in the womb. And just as a man, you gotta go into an extra level of yourself and be a deeper provider. You understand? And that was, I would say, the most challenging. It's just, but I think if we realize as men that that's your greatest gift, that pressure is that pressure makes you stronger.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever pressure that we can take on as men, it makes the whole process smoother. Your woman loves you deeper. The mother of your child loves you deeper. She has more respect for you. In terms that she got more respect for you, that means she got more trust.
Mm-hmm.
Trust is how we get to wealth anyway.
Fact.
You understand? And so you automatically gonna be provided for by the universe because you taking care of your seed. You taking care of your family. You taking care of your responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really just been ultimately the biggest blessing in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like having my child. And
Fact.
I don't understand when people say like, oh, this child changed my life and like I can't do the same things no more. Like I just think y'all just more so in the immature mind with it.
Mm-hmm.
And you looking at it like this child is taking something from you when you need to
Versus
be looking
giving.
at versus giving.
Mm-hmm.
That child is really adding a whole entire universe upon you. So only you knew it.
And I think it brings on more responsibility that people should embrace. Like you said, embracing it versus obviously running away from it. Because that's why we have parents, male and women, on both sides, not being present in these entities' lives that are needed. And that causes another cycle of, now another generation got to evolve.
These deities.
Now it's another generation got to evolve. And it's a repeated cycle. Unfortunately, but then it also within that, I think it is some beauty in there too, depending on how you view it. I think everything is just depending on how you view it and understanding that everything happens for a reason.
Right.
Yeah.
These deities.
Mm-hmm.
It's like even if you not with the child's mother, you can still raise the child
Fact.
up perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
You can still, because we gotta remember that children are intelligent.
Facts. Very.
Children, we gotta stop looking at this world like everything around us is stupid and we the only smart motherfuckers. Everything about this world is intelligent. How the nature itself was designed by an intelligent being. You don't look at a painting and be like, oh, that happened by itself. Or that just happened to exist. That just came into existence. Nah, this whole entire planet Earth had a painter.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me? And it had somebody who intelligently put it together. And therefore, even in terms of our children, we got to recognize that our children, we probably need to stop saying children.
Mm-hmm.
They're not our children. That's another thing we got to remember is that these are young gods coming in through the portal.
Mm-hmm.
And they, most of the time, even your ancestors, they could be your great-great-grandmother that's coming right back through the portal. Mm-hmm. It's just we lost our connection to our dead. And that's one thing that in this world now, because we go so much off the left hemisphere of our brains, that we see things as disconnected. We see things as disunified, but no, everything is unified. And it's a cyclical process. Mm-hmm. So our children come into this portal already as teachers. Fact. They come into the portal already as divine and wise. And all you really got to do is just have the environment for them.
Yeah. And the mindset to digest it.
You just got to have the right environment. Mm-hmm. Children automatically, they know, you ain't got to talk to them with no Google Gaga. Mm-hmm. My son, he listens to lectures. He like listening to my music. That's what he likes. He don't even like the Google Gaga.
Yeah.
He likes to put
children that.
He likes to, if I put on the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he gonna sit there in meditative mode and watch it like he a grown man. Like that's how children.
That's you gotta post that one day.
Yeah, I am gonna post it.
Nah,
we gotta stop looking at children like they just that's who taught you that?
Yeah.
You understand that ain't never been our culture.
Fact.
Our children are already intelligent.
Mm-hmm. Fact. And before we go, I'm definitely gonna be bringing up your music because obviously I heard The Chosen One. But before I get to that, I want to ask you in your own words, what does evolving through experience mean to you?
No, that's everything.
Mm-hmm.
Evolving through experience there's no other type of way to evolve.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta live this.
That's a fact. I like
There's no
that.
other way to evolve. I can't evolve without experience. It doesn't even make sense. So evolving through experiences is exactly what you got to do. It's like if I don't show up to this, how can I do another one? Right? How can I do another podcast if I ain't got the previous experience of the first one? It's like, when am I going to actually do a podcast? When am I going to actually sit down and have communication? So you got to experience it to even grow, to even get better. So this leads to another one. It goes higher and higher and higher. So you continuously evolve. Not saying that, you understand me, that this ain't at the highest level. No, because this is. Because I was invited by God, right? God brought me down to sit down to communicate, and now I'm able to continuously grow as a man. You understand me? You got to grow through experience.
Fact.
All these experiences, all of them count. Every single thing counts. 1,000%.
I think more people need to obviously digest that, understand that, and I think that's going to allow people's lives to get a lot better on every level. So mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and beyond, for sure.
Yeah. They just got to stop hating on their experiences. And they got to stop hating on the experiences of other men. It's like, when you see another man that's doing something you like, just get in alignment. Just start doing. Don't hate on the next man. Like, that's another thing we really gotta love. Like, love has to be the prerogative. Choose love over hate.
How do you feel like we get back to that? Because obviously, without making excuses, we know there are certain systems in place to make this intentional, where this is done intentionally, and even without people realizing it. So what are some steps you feel like can be taken today, right now, to help us get back to that?
Realistically, I always gotta tell brothers to read their Quran. Read their Quran by Maulana Muhammad Ali. You have to read the Quran just to have structure in your brain, because a lot of brothers need some structure. Let's just be honest with you. You need some spiritual structure. You need to first learn that. Once you go from that, then it's like you can develop and be intentional. That's going to teach you how to be intentional. The Quran is going to teach you how to be intentional about things. It's like, nah, brother, this is what's really for you and what's really not. You understand? I think once we learn that, then we going to learn, then we come deeper and deeper into the process of love, because it's like we recognize, like, nigga, we really just been damaging ourselves this whole entire time. And we've been thinking that it's been love, but no, my brother, that was lust. And once you stop lusting, you really gonna get to love. Easy. Because we can lust after things.
Right.
We can lust after our desires and our knowing that ain't got nothing to do with what we love. And usually what you love is always gonna come from your heart space. You understand me? You gonna always feel it here before you feel it here. Always. And so going into that, it's like, yeah. And brothers got to stop thinking that all these Instagram models is who your lover is. Most times, 9 times out of 10, brothers got to respect their spiritual rank. Let's just be honest with you. Yeah, a lot of these quote unquote beautiful sisters, I'll be honest with y'all, brothers come with the most issues. And so if you ain't got that, like, that masculine essence, you ain't gonna be able to make her submit anyway. So you might as well go with what, that's at your spiritual rank. You understand me? And be where you at with it, and just accept who you are.
Fact.
And I think a lot of brothers are also trying to go beyond their means, but it's honestly okay to be a chef. It's honestly okay to be an architect. It's honestly okay to be an engineer. It's okay to be those things. You understand me? We make it seem like playing basketball, football, or being a rapper is the only thing you can fucking do. It's not. It's honestly not. Because really, in reality, everybody has a spiritual rank. And certain things are only meant for certain bloodlines. You understand? If it ain't your bloodline, it's really not going to work out for you. So you got to go with what's truly in your bloodline. You got to study your history, study your self-knowledge and the knowledge of self, and study who you are. Study who your peoples is. If y'all mechanics, if y'all work on cars, more than likely that's probably why you tapped into that, because you more than likely tapped in with the Ogun energy and working with iron and steel. So that's why it's important for us to know our roots. Therefore, we can recognize like what is our affinities. You know, what is your element? Brothers got to know what their element is. Sometimes your element is earth, but you trying to do water shit. You understand? You out of your zen. You understand? Sometimes your element is fire, but you trying to do air shit. Now you out of your zen. So you gotta remain in your zen, and by knowing your element, you need to know your numerology. You need to know your cardology. You need to know all these different things, so therefore you can study yourself. And that's gonna help you figure out these different signs and symbols and come into now oneness, focus. Evolving through experience.
Let's talk about the music. I know obviously you said you was always a fan of music. Obviously, and music is energy. So it's energy. So you mentioned some artists, Michael Jackson, Marvin Gaye. Let's talk about your musical evolution and how, when you started, when did you first start? And what is your goal with it? Even though I feel like I already know, but I'd rather hear you say it, because obviously we know we got a lot of negative music out here that's not doing any positive for anyone, damaging. So
realistically, I'm gonna go into realistics. Because I know a lot of people like to say, I started music when I was a child.
Yeah.
I was doing this shit. Like, now I'm going to give y'all realistics. Realistically, I didn't start making music for probably about 7 years ago. To be realistic. It was when I got back to St. Louis, and I remember asking my partner, because I was writing songs, I was writing poems down. It was a partner that I had in St. Louis, and I asked him, because I knew he was making music. I said, bro, can you teach me how to work with the music program? So he like, yeah. So he stayed down the street. He's making music in his basement, right? And we ended up making songs together. He like, bro, you got a knack for this shit.
Got a gift.
You got a gift for this. He like, you actually write some dope ass songs, some lyrics. And that was really all I needed, because he been making music for a while, and he telling me like, nah, you actually like advanced at an advanced level already right now. It sounds like you already been doing this, but I haven't. And so when he told me that was kind of like a confirmation. That was another one of those epiphany moments. It was a divine moment, and from there, I remember it was like the song I made, Uber Everywhere. Remix. I made that song. I think that song really pushed Uber to what it is today. Funny.
Sound like they owe you a bag?
No, they owe that other brother a bag. What's his name? Made it in T.O. or something like that. They owe him a bag. They owe me a bag too, though, forever. I did put some spiritual. I put some spiritual energy on that motherfucker. But from there, I realized early how powerful lyrics are, because I started to see whatever I was putting out there in the ethers. That's what I call it. I feel like music exists in the ethers. Whatever I was putting in the ethers, it started to transform my life. So I knew I couldn't just make music about, like, I couldn't go the route of being a rapper that was just rapping about what he didn't know. You understand?
Or detriment.
Yeah, to my detriment, because I knew for a fact that I started rapping about killing people and all that different types of shit.
You're gonna create that reality.
I'm about to create that reality real quick. I'm a Pisces, so I gotta be in tune with the spiritual forces at all times. Because if I don't, then I'm gonna get reprimanded for it. So early I knew that my music had to be in tune. It had to have the vibrations right. I gotta be saying something. And I gotta be saying something deep. You understand? To really get to where I wanna go with this. Then through time, at first you always start off with a lot more cursing in your music. You start off with a lot more raunchiness and things of that nature. But through time, my vision started to grow more and more and more. At first you want to get signed.
Yeah.
That's your ideal.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you see. Then you come across situations in life that teaches you that's exactly what you don't want.
Yeah.
That's exactly where you don't want to go.
Facts.
So then at the same time, I'm praying more and more and more each day. Because it's almost like this music is making me more spiritual. Like the music is making me become more spiritual. It's making me get more in tune with myself. So I have to now go into my prayers because what I'm trying to manifest is too strong. You understand? Trying to be a musician or a music artist, it requires way more than people think. An artist that is doing it from the process of the ground up is going to require everything out of you. So your prayers got to get stronger. Not only do your prayers got to get stronger, but you got to be more keen in your prayers than what you're saying. You got to be real direct. So as the years start going more and more and more, the music is becoming sharper. While at the same time, how the music is coming through is becoming different as well. At first, I used to have to write. I was writing all the time. At one certain point, I stopped writing, and it was like I just got something to say. You understand?
Yeah.
It started just coming from the core of me, where it's like there's a lot of shit in this world I don't fuck with.
I mean, you shouldn't.
Yeah,
You shouldn't.
yeah. It's a lot of energy I just don't mix with.
Facts.
You know, there's a lot of weirdo vibes.
It's always gonna be that, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But once you realize that,
Mm-hmm.
it's like you got a mission now.
Fact.
You understand? Then it goes from this creative force that you just tapped into. You thought you were just tapping into it. But then God showed you, no, you in a battle. You in a war. You in a war zone. You thought it was just music, huh?
It's deeper. It's bigger than that.
It's much bigger than that. You understand? And that's what a lot of these artists need to learn. ASAP. They need to learn quickly that you actually entering into a war zone. And once you realize that, you will stop going for those contracts. You will stop going for
360s.
360s. You will stop trying to go for being seen. You understand? Because all that vanity, all that type of shit, it's gonna kill your art, your creativity anyway. And musically, I learned that if you ain't getting it straight from your powers, if any other body handing you this, got something to say in what you got going on, you gonna be miserable for the rest of your life. 1000%. But if you do it from your core and you get it out the cosmos, you get those contracts out the cosmos, you get it through your ancestors, you get it that way, then that's when you become legend.
Fact.
You understand? The only legends in this world are people who really were prophets. Like, you really profiting. Who really profiting? You understand me? Like, really got it out the mud. That's when you really profiting. Everybody else is profiteers. You understand me? Claiming that like they like was this prophet or they this saucy individual the whole entire time. They got who's this European behind your back?
That's running the show.
Yeah, it's running the show. You see? Like, you really ain't got no money. Because real money ain't even physical anyway.
Facts. That's the least valuable.
That's the least valuable. You ain't got no money. And niggas, and then people need to learn what money is.
You just remind me, I want to talk about the labels, but I want to ask about another artist. I'm pretty sure that you listen to this artist, Nipsey.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
1000%.
Yeah, Nip, honestly, for me, bro, I'm just gonna speak on this because we talking about it. Nip music, like really, really, helped me in my life and my journey. And I was listening to Nip like when I was like 14, 15. So a a lot of people listen to Nip after the passing, which is still cool because you're gonna still gain something from it. But like, I was a huge fan of Nip, and I say that because it's another reason why I got this brand and I kept it going. Because it's not even a podcast, truth be told, bro. I call this a healthcare company.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a healthcare company. I say podcast for certain measures, but at the end of the day, this is a healthcare company. Because when I say helping people evolve in every aspect, it's not just mentally, like I said, it's spiritual, it's physical, it's emotional, and it's beyond. It's other levels to there too. So Nip was like one of the people that I really have a mad love for, because he inspired this. Like, even down to like why I even like got into calling myself equity, just understanding not equity from having ownership in different properties or real estate or whatever, but equity in having morals, having spiritual groundings and things of that nature. So that's why I say all that, because Nip was one of the people I truly listened to, and I got a lot of value of it. Even when I didn't digest the music then, it was the planting those seeds. And I think that's so vital with any music that people listen to today. We got the music that's obviously detrimental, but a lot of people need to focus on the music that's not.
1000%.
Yeah.
You know, Nipsey said something. He said, "Whatever you are, be the most authentic version of it."
Fact.
You know, whatever you claim to be, just be the most authentic version of it. And that's why I realized, like, even as a musician, you can't listen to too many other people. You understand? You need to, because if you have a purpose, you just need to focus on that. And so what I took from that, and also from a lot of his music, and what I still take from his music, is be the purest version of what you are. I realize I'm a lover. You understand? Like, love is my prerogative. So I'm gonna be the most authentic, true love in this universe. You understand? Like, that is what I'm gonna do, and that's what I'm gonna be as a man. And because I listen deeply to the lyrics of Nipsey the Great. And it was just one thing that I would say that I wish that my brother would have expressed deeper in his music, was to have more love in his music. You understand? I wish that my brother had more love in his music. And that's one thing I kind of see from the greats, that like I pick up everything from the greats. I go into what they did right and what they could have did better. And then I take that and I apply that to myself. Like, okay, because I need to learn from the greats. I need to learn from the past. I need to learn from the musicians of the past. It's like even the great Bob Marley. It's like, where did he go wrong? Right?
Yeah.
I look at where did he went right as well, because I can learn a lot from where they went wrong. You know? And I could see in his case, in terms of there may be a lot of lack of knowledge and information, because the brother was Jamaican, and the brother had a half white, so that energy and that blood, I believe, still kept him in a certain form of ignorance, right? In terms of being able to recognize, like, we can as men listen to our wives. And I think our wives are extremely important in our lives in terms of keeping us
grounded,
very grounded, but I see where all the great musicians just go wrong, and I see where they go right. And that's why I want to look towards, like, in the future now, it's like there should be a new blueprint. I think now we need a new blueprint, because sad to say, the environment ain't got that much better since a lot of these musicians have passed on. And it's just like, well, it's time for the environment to grow. And that means that the blueprint of the previous generations
has changed.
Yeah, it's time for a change. It's time for a whole new blueprint. It's like, I can't keep looking in the past now.
Fact.
It's like we got to look to who's here, right here in the now, and we got to say we got to push them, because I ain't gonna fake it. I got to be honest with you. I got the mindset to see where brothers is going the fuck wrong. You understand me? And what is truly looking like to me is that we need to be solid with our wives. We need to be extremely solid. We need to be extremely solid with that feminine nature and that feminine energy. You understand? We need to stop fighting against it. We need to stop fighting our women. We need to stop calling them bitches. We need to stop fucking with these Eurocentric women. You understand me? Get them up out of your household, the whole nine. No more fucking around. It's time that we really, as original men, stand on business. You understand? We got to stand on this righteousness. We got to make sure that we out here giving to our people, giving to our souls, giving to our homes, our children, build up our children, build up our foundation. That is where we going wrong. We keep on fucking around. You understand me? We standing on too many different sides. All that standing on too many different sides keeps us vulnerable. That's why niggas can be around like all your homies, right? And none of your homies take a bullet for you. None of them jump in front of the gunman. You understand me? The same ones that you've been like rapping about for years, talking about got your back and things of that nature. To me, nah. You understand me? Nah. So that's why I recognize, nah, my wife. My wife.
Yeah.
You understand me? I bet you my wife would take a bullet for me.
And vice versa.
You see what I'm saying? And vice fucking versa.
Yeah.
Straight up. But it's just like these brothers got to start recognizing, nah, this shit is about the family. It's about the home. We gotta get on some Godfather shit. Straight up. Yeah. Then nah, you ain't even got to be on like doing it illegal and nothing that either. It's just get on that demeanor, that masculinity. That's what we need in this music. That's what we need to push. That's what we need. We need to push our ancestors. Our ancestors have been hungry. Our ancestors are hungry, right? Yeah. Nobody talks to they late grandma no more. Who keeping pictures on the altar? Who got the incense going for they great grandpa? What is we doing? Why is we putting our dead in other people's graveyards?
That's a fact.
You see what I'm saying? Don't even realize that they started that because only for tax purposes. They didn't know that. We didn't realize that everything in this United States is all about money.
It's a corporation.
It's a fucking corporation. It's a corporation. So in terms of you burying your dead in another graveyard, what's happening is you not recognizing that if you got land, what they did was they wanted to tax your land. But if you got a dead body on your land, they can't tax it. You see? Yeah. So instead they built graveyards that they can that now they can tax your land
because everybody putting them there.
Exactly. And not only that, your ancestors don't want to be in no damn graveyard.
Hey, graveyards got a lot of energy. Yeah. A lot of different energies.
A lot of different people. Nah, bro, we got an afterlife.
Yeah. Oh, they don't want to talk about that.
They don't want to talk about that.
Nah, that's a fact.
You know, I just had to give you that energy just right now.
I appreciate it. And I want to double back. I didn't want to cut you off. I want to go back to, obviously, let's talk about homie. But before we go there, I want to talk about, you said something profound as far as you're going to hold other artists accountable. You see where they went wrong. You see where they went right. But then the biggest thing you said out of there, you apply that to yourself. I think that's where a lot of people miss. We want to point the fingers and be the saint, quote unquote, when we want to point the fingers at everybody else and say, oh, this is what they did wrong, this is what they did wrong. Not focus on what they did right. And even if they know they did right, they won't acknowledge it. I think if you're going to focus on what somebody did wrong, let's also definitely double back on what they did right. But then, like you said, you apply it to yourself. And I think that's where the highest level of evolving definitely comes into play as well, because you apply it to yourself. And I think we're a reflection. So what we see in others, we can often find in ourselves, and that's actually one of my favorite quotes, because if I'm quick to say something about somebody else, I could also look and reflect into myself and see where I could do better. So I'm glad you said that.
Oh, 1,000%, because none of us is going to have this perfect rapport. Nobody.
Facts.
So, but you can always look at what's happening because I honestly look at reality almost like it's a mythology. Because you got to look at it as like you either in some sort of game world, comic book world, something that's teaching you on every level.
Yeah.
And it's like, so when I look at music and music artists and who they are and what's going on, it's like I have to apply this to myself because I have to be a better human being. I have to be a better man. I have to get better at what I'm strategizing. You know, so it's like, why wouldn't you look at the best parts of somebody and just look at it from a totality perspective? And it's like, it's really no true bad. It's really no true bad. It's really all expression of love. There's really no true bad, because even when I see what may have been still what's the word again for like a pitfall that someone may have gone through.
Challenge.
The challenge. Yeah, challenge.
Or lesson, because we use a positive word. A lesson, yeah.
There we go, a lesson.
Yeah.
That's all it truly was. It was just a lesson.
Fact.
And as you see it, it really was just a lesson because the world still revolves.
Facts.
It still goes on. You understand? And it's just a lesson for all of us to learn. Like, we study it and we get better. And we calculate and we get more mathematical, because essentially that's what we are. We are mathematical people.
I want to ask you, double back on the homies. Let's talk about you finding those right brothers to be in your circle in that process, because obviously I'm sure for anybody it wasn't always like that. So let's talk about that process of cutting off the old ones, and obviously, of course, wishing them well, but you know that energy no longer serves you. So let's talk about how that process has been of obviously doing that, and then obviously finding the right ones that you know gonna hold you accountable, you gonna hold them accountable, and you build that brotherhood.
Yeah, I mean, you said it all right there. You said it all right there. Shit, it's like, I would say with the homies, it all ties in like how, even with your woman, in this world, if you a man or a woman that's about elevation, certain energy around you just don't have the mindset to elevate. So it's not even a case of letting somebody go. It's just that this next iteration of me, you just not there. This next iteration of me just requires for me to move forward. It requires for me to be in different environments that you may not be ready, that your friend may not be ready to even exist in. So they just gonna take the back seat or sit or stay where they are and watch you go where you go, because it may be even healthier for them to do so. Because everybody is not meant to move forward with you.
That's a fact.
That's just what it is. Everybody's not meant to move forward with you. And a lot of times people actually learn from watching you move forward. And like, damn, because I know that a lot of my partners saw me move forward in life and got inspired, that I even had the mindset to get up and go. Because they could have never processed, like, in their own brain what that even is. It's like, so for you to not sit back and let anything stop you is you encouraging your friends.
Fact.
You understand? You can't stay with them because nobody gets encouraged at that point.
Yeah. Staying on the same level.
Yeah, everybody's just on the same level, doing the same thing every day.
I'm glad you said that, because again, I think a lot of people see that as a bad thing. So you saying that is just an example of why it's a positive thing, and I was going to get to that, because leaving, like you said, not saying leaving them behind, but going to that next level is sometimes a lot of people see that as a negative thing, but that could be a positive thing, because like you said, that inspired your other homies to be like, yo, like, let me get my stuff together.
Yeah. And you never leave nobody behind. And that's, I think a lot of our thinking comes from like these Eurocentric ideas. There's no such thing as leaving anybody behind. No one actually gets left behind.
They're on their timeline.
We all on a timeline,
Yeah.
and we all on a story. This is a divine story everybody is playing out.
Mm-hmm.
You are divine consciousness. Nobody is left behind. There's no, is what's happening is like, if I say I have this purpose and it just requires for me to be in other rooms, it requires me to be on another platform, I never forgot about you.
Mm-hmm.
I never, like, it don't mean I don't care about you.
Facts.
It don't mean I'm not still there for you. It's just that, let me go through my journey.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Don't try to hold me back.
Facts.
But if you are there with me on this journey, walk with me on this journey.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah.
But at the same time, and best believe that once I get to that space in my mentality where I realize that I'm where I want to be, it's like, I send for you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. If you ready.
If you ready, I send for you.
Facts.
But it's like nobody gets left behind in this story. And I don't think we as people should look at it like we should leave our people behind. No, we shouldn't. We should always, that should actually be a driving force for the reason why you going so far. You understand?
Come back and get them.
Yeah, it's like you got people that's looking up to you. And that should be like a part of the reason why you go so hard. Straight up.
I appreciate that. I'm glad you said that. To add more perspective for us, everyone. You writing a book? Coming out with a book? Or obviously plans of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm writing a book every day.
I got you. Releasing one then. Let me say releasing an actual physical copy, anything of that nature.
I'm definitely
Okay.
1,000%. With me is my brain has so many different complex layers to it. It's just the book that I'm creating. Of course, it's gonna be about Zen mastery, and because you got that Way to Superior Man, but I believe
Amazing book.
It's an amazing book.
I just recommended it to somebody too.
But the thing is, that's Way to Superior Man, and that was written by a European.
Yeah.
You know, but we original black guys. So I need the way of the original black God book.
Yeah.
You understand me? Because we more than man.
Yeah.
So that's the book that I'm creating.
Okay.
And so it's like, that's why in mine is I'm making sure brothers understand the importance of really just your wife and how to really curve everything in this world and have tunnel vision, have being your Zen. Because you got these two forces that's always playing against you. You got, you got that light and you got that dark, right? Or some people call it evil and good, heaven and hell, whatever you want to call it. Or the black wolf and the white wolf. Now, but in reality, where you should be is always in the middle of that. You understand me? You're supposed to be accepting of your shadow, accepting of your darkness, accepting of your light, accepting that you have a heart and a mind, but it always being in the middle of that process. Therefore, you really in control of both forces. You understand?
Yeah.
And so it's like, because even with your woman, she wants you to be in control of both forces. Your woman don't just want a man that's all like too good, gullible and good. No, she want to feel that dark warrior. She want to feel your essence and like that you can take command. You understand? Because that's ultimately why you like so many different women. You really just need to pour that energy into your one. You see? Because that's what's gonna make her really get into her full submission mode. The brother's not really recognizing their gifts and their power of their woman.
Yeah, bro. When that book drop.
Oh, that book is coming.
Say less.
It's being written right now.
I like that. We definitely putting that on the brand, man. We definitely gonna order a few copies because, like you said, that is vital in every
1,000%.
aspect. Nah, I appreciate that. Where can people follow you at, bro?
Allahomitu. That is ALLAHOMITU. You can also follow my business. We actually about to be launching again the crystals. So we've been taking a lot of time just developing our website again. Going through a new season. This season is called the Zen season. So, and this season is all about incorporating you being at your oneness, your wholeness, and staying in your persistent nature, your consistent nature, and being devoted. Because these crystals help us tap into our auras. It help us because these crystals existed at the time in which the earth started forming. So these crystals started forming at the exact time that the earth started forming. So these crystals are older than damn near anything on this earth, right? So you physically are wearing light on your body. Physically are wearing different auras on your body. You understand vibrations. And Mother Tanetta, the wife to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, she quoted and stated that crystals are what we used to travel through in the spiritual plane before we come to the earth in the body. So crystals, and even when you wear them and you hold them, like I'm holding a crystal right now, helps you to direct the conscious mind, because our consciousness is light.
Fact.
So when you hold these crystals, they help to direct your light into your hands, into your palms, into your thoughts, and it keeps the direction of your flow consistent. You understand? I didn't have my Palo Santo today.
It's all good. Next time.
I know none of my ritual tools, so I had to bring my crystal, because this crystal's keeping my brain on a focused trajectory. And that's what a lot of people don't realize, like the importance of wearing. You got to wear if you ever look at the depictions of our ancient tribes, they always was wearing gold, always wearing Musa. Copper, always wearing crystals, always kept it on them, because they understood the importance of the aura, keeping your aura in alignment, keeping your aura in check. You understand? And as long as you keeping your aura in check, your mind, your brain is able to flow, is able to stay in its consistent nature, in its zen, have tunnel vision. And that's always what I'm going for, is making sure I got that tunnel vision.
Fact. No, I appreciate that, bro. Hey, I really enjoyed this episode. I know, believe, and truly believe it's going to touch the ones that's ready to hear it. Everybody ain't going to be ready to hear it, but that's okay, because at least if it plant the seed, the job is done. And obviously it's going to flourish and grow. And that's evolving in every aspect. So again, if y'all enjoyed another episode of Evolving Through Experience, make sure y'all follow them. Make sure y'all follow the brand. Obviously, get into your Zen season. And if you're not, you dissolving. So let's start evolving today. Evolving Through Experience. Catch y'all on the next episode. Peace.